The footage shows a white SUV remaining on the railway tracks even after the barriers have closed. Although the approaching metro train sounds its horn, the vehicle does not move. Within seconds, the train crashes into the SUV at high speed, throwing it to the side of the tracks. This incident shows how taking even a momentary risk at a level crossing can be fatal. Trains are extremely heavy and have long braking distances. The thought of, "I can make it in a few more seconds," can cost your life. The safest action is to clear the crossing as soon as the warning lights activate. The footage shows a young woman walking toward the tracks without noticing an approaching tram. She was wearing headphones and didn't hear the warning signals, so even though the tram braked at the last second, a collision was unavoidable. Fortunately, she escaped with minor injuries. This event highlights how dangerous inattention and headphone use can be around urban rail systems. Despite background noise, pedestrians must stay alert and pay attention to lights and announcements. A moment of distraction can have deadly consequences. The footage captures a freight train passing through a narrow residential street, colliding with the front of a red car parked too close to the tracks. The train continues moving without slowing down, and the impact completely crushes the car's front end. This incident shows how dangerous it is to park near railway tracks. Vehicles must be parked several meters away from train lines. Trains cannot maneuver in tight spaces and have long stopping distances. A small oversight can cause massive damage and life-threatening danger within seconds. The footage shows a long freight train traveling through a rural area suddenly derailing. When the first wagon leaves the tracks, it pulls the others along, and within seconds, several tanker cars weighing tons topple over. A pedestrian standing nearby notices the disaster and runs away in panic. This incident shows how dangerous it can be to stay near railway lines. Even if the tracks look solid, a small weakness in the ground below can trigger a massive derailment. Keeping a safe distance and avoiding standing near tracks unnecessarily can save your life in seconds. The footage shows a motorcyclist at a railway crossing moving forward despite the warning signals and lowering barriers. The red lights are flashing, and the "Do not stop on tracks" sign is clearly visible. Yet the rider slips through the side of the barrier and rides onto the tracks. At that exact moment, a high-speed passenger train rushes through the crossing. This event demonstrates the deadly consequences of impatience at railway crossings. Trains have extremely long braking distances, and once the warning system activates, entering the tracks becomes a life-threatening act. Waiting just a few seconds is far better than a lifetime of regret. Safety barriers aren't there to slow you down. They're there to keep you alive. The footage shows a large semi-truck attempting to cross a railway intersection. However, the driver fails to notice the approaching train, leaving the long trailer stranded on the tracks. Seconds later, a fast-moving passenger train slams into the rear of the trailer, sending it flying off to the side. Fortunately, no serious injuries were reported, but the outcome could have been far worse. This incident shows how timing errors at railway crossings can have fatal consequences. Trains travel at high speeds and have very long stopping distances. Therefore, drivers should always slow down and check both directions before crossing, even if the barriers haven't closed yet. Track inspections and warning systems save thousands of lives. A single moment of negligence can trigger a disaster weighing hundreds of tons. The footage shows a motorcyclist trying to cross a railway just as the barriers are about to close. At that exact moment, a high-speed train appears within seconds. The rider panics, loses control, and falls to the ground, narrowly escaping being crushed under the train. This incident reminds us that trains appear farther and slower than they actually are, but their braking distance can stretch for hundreds of meters. Stopping on or rushing across the tracks at the last moment is a deadly mistake. Always stop, look both ways, and keep a safe distance. The footage shows a risky moment experienced by a woman waiting on a train platform. While standing close to the edge of the platform, she suddenly feels unwell, loses her balance, and falls toward the tracks. People nearby immediately notice the situation and call for help. The train is stopped shortly after, and it becomes clear that the woman survives without serious harm by remaining between the rails. This incident clearly shows why maintaining a safe distance on platforms is so important. The airflow created by trains, sudden dizziness, or unexpected health issues can cause a loss of balance at any moment. A man tried to cross the railway tracks on his bicycle as a high-speed train approached. However, he misjudged the train's speed and distance and made contact before he could fully clear the tracks. Witnesses stated that he either was in a hurry or failed to notice the train in time. This incident reminds us that trains move much faster than they appear and require long distances to stop. Unauthorized crossings should never be used, and warning signals must always be obeyed. Even a small timing error can be fatal. Staying alert and keeping distance from the tracks can save lives. An elderly man was pushing his bicycle across the tracks when he failed to notice an oncoming passenger train. Due to the train's speed and weight, stopping was impossible, and contact occurred. Witnesses reported that the man seemed unaware that the crossing was unsafe. This incident shows how crucial it is to use only official railway crossings and to stay alert for approaching trains. Because trains have long braking distances, it's important to stay clear of the tracks even before signals are activated. A small act of inattention can lead to irreversible tragedy in a matter of seconds.